going back to your comments, right? Like, so what do you think of this? So this is from New York Times, and so the doctors think of it as something, and the AI thinks of it as completely something else. Like, so in this case, AI flagged it as a serious heart problem based on the data that it read from electrocardiograms, and the doctors thought it was asthma. What do you have to say, and can you contextualize something like this for gastroenterology?
Yeah, so I don't know the specific reference or article, but you see a lot of these, right? These are all really catchy headlines where you can say AI did something that the professional did it or couldn't do or missed, right? And obviously, I think there are examples where AI can replace some of the critical thinking of any professional, including a physician or and making a diagnosis. The challenge really, and I've been a gastroenterologist for 11 years now after training. The challenge is not always making the diagnosis. It's working with the patient to figure out from diagnosis what treatment plan works best and what treatment plan will be most adherent to. And I think, and again, I think artificial intelligence can get there, but I do believe you'll need human in the loop for that overall full circle moment, at least in the next, I don't know, 5, 10, 50 years. 30 years from now, if that's the only choice we have, then yeah, maybe that's what we'll go with. We'll go into, you see those full, what are they called? The boxes you can walk into in the mall or the airport, and they do all the analysis for you. They get your blood pressure, your heart rate, they scan you, and they spit out a diagnosis and treatment plan. Right now, that looks a televisit, right? So you have a visit with the provider. Do you have to have that? I think right now that's a comfort for us, right? We want that. Do we need that? Maybe not in the future.
I don't know if you saw this. I was trying to pull this up. China has these AI kiosks already. I've been seeing videos of it. You know, the kiosk does most of the diagnosis, and they've put this in rural areas and all of that. Like, so let me see if I can find an
Looks
article.
good. You get your Snickers bar, and then you get your blood glucose
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like in the malls. Yeah, here, look at this one. China installs 2,200 AI medical booths, delivers diagnosis in 4 minutes, claims 95% accuracy, and compares symptoms with 300 million cases.
That's amazing. It definitely, I mean, it ties to the Mid-Journey story, which I know we're going to talk about also. I didn't fully dive into that New York Times article, but I was seeing some things that I think a lot of physicians were commenting that the diagnosis was fairly obvious in the data and like would certainly be possible for a physician to make. You just, if you see it or do the extra workup. And I think that's where the AI piece is interesting. We're going to start pouring over data that's been sitting there latent in all sorts of interesting ways. And with the Mid-Journey piece, it also is raising, like what happens if we're screening these patients for things that otherwise we wouldn't have been screening in the past? Are we going to find all sorts of incidental findings? And part of, I think, what's going to happen is we're going to need to come up with new treatment protocols for all sorts of things. Where in the past, like the treatment protocols and the way we handle things from the healthcare system was dependent on only screening or only looking for things in certain places. And it doesn't really make sense to apply those same decision-making processes if we're all of a sudden screening a totally different population in a totally different way.